Hello and welcome to 360 Gamercast Halloween Special! Woo! I'm your host Mark Webb, gamertag PSNID Steam ID Webby360G, and joining me on this very fine evening is...
What's your favourite scary movie? Big fights.
And Demon Knights.
How are we both doing?
Very good. Looking forward to this podcast.
Yeah, so this is a Patreon exclusive episode. We are actually doing the next main episode recording on Halloween, but obviously that show doesn't go out till after Halloween has happened. So this is a Halloween special where we will be talking about some games, but it's more about our favourite horror games and favourite horror movies. So we're going to go and run down those, and Damo wants to talk about some actual, spooky things in a fun way as well, so we're going to do that as well. So I hope the patrons enjoy this episode. If you're not a Patreon subscriber, what are you doing with your life? Subscribe now at patreon.com/360gamercast. If you forget that link, just head to 360gamercast.com. The link is on the main page there. From £5 a month, you get an episode every single week of the year, plus every single special episode like this one. So you are missing out if you're not subscribing. Do it now. So, shall we get straight into it, guys?
Just do it.
Let's do it now. So we're going to go through some of our favourite horror games and films. Who would like to start us off?
Well, I've got a couple written down actually, so I shall kick us off with my favourite scary game.
Yeah.
Although it's not so much as a ghost game, it's Alien Isolation.
That is on my list.
Yeah, so that game is it came out 2015ish, I think, and I must have completed it about 10 times over the years.
Wow.
Different difficulty settings and stuff until I did it on the hardest level, which was pretty bloody hard. But yeah, for me, it's one of the most atmospheric, scary games I've ever played. The alien is scary, and plus you don't have any actual weapons to kill the alien with.
Yeah.
So it is a game like hide and seek sort of thing. But the cyborgs are probably the scariest thing. You can be creeping around and you turn around and all of a sudden one stood there with its glowing eyes going, "Come with me," really calmly. I don't think they ever walk, but they're really fast.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably my number one scary game.
For me, with Alien Isolation, what I remember most about it, as you say, is just the atmosphere with it, especially for the first kind of half of the game, because it's just you and the alien. The alien is stalking you, and if you've got headphones on, especially, when you can hear it in the background above you or whatever, it uses sound very, very well. This game.
It does use sound really well. Like you say, I used to live up in the middle of nowhere in the sticks, and I was in the house on my own, lights off, with that game on, and as an adult, you don't really get that sort of spooky scare much these days. But yeah, that scared me. That game.
Yeah, and it's just and the title is so well done as well, because you do feel very isolated because it's just you're the only human on the space station. But what I felt was, like, the second half of the game, it got a little bit more actiony because you were fighting against the androids, and that just kind of ruined that tension a little bit for me, just because you weren't just concentrating on the alien. It was, you had the fights against those robot things, but it was still a really great game. And as you say, it's very psychological in a big aspect, because you can't all go guns blazing against the alien. You're fucking hiding from it the whole time, and it's just that fear of the unknown, of when it's going to appear or where it's going to appear from, etc. Yeah,
it's a clever game as well, because you get things called noisemakers, and if there's a load of other humans that want to kill you, like down the corridor, you can throw a noisemaker and it attracts the alien that comes and kills them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like what you were saying about the androids, I found it does sort of step away from the alien after a while and go into the androids, and it is more of a action I don't know if I can call it an action game, but there is more action with the androids. But I found them to be even more scary than the Alien.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Just
fair enough.
because of their calmness, and that is almost like Michael Myers walking and his victim legging it, and they never get away, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's probably, unless I'm forgetting anything, that's probably my number one scary game. A couple of others. A few years ago, I played Until Dawn.
Oh, okay.
Have you guys played that?
Yeah, Until Dawn's awesome, man.
That's a
Yeah.
good game.
Yeah.
It's quite a different sort of game. The way the mechanics of it and stuff. It's almost like one of them point and click games, but you're actually not pointing and clicking. You're walking in a sort of linear sort of fashion. But the story modes were good. Until Dawn focuses on a load of sort of teenagers who go to a log cabin in the mountains, which just that on its own is awesome. It sets the scene really well. And I thought that was a really good game. And obviously that's one of 3 in that series, isn't it?
Well, well, Until Dawn is its own thing, and it's kind of like an interactive movie in some aspects, isn't it? And the same devs actually went on to do the Dark Pictures games, which I think you're alluding to.
The Man of Medan, and I'm currently playing Medium. Which is the new one. Yeah, which is the new one from. Is it the Dark? What?
The Dark Pictures. So they've made 3 games, and the third one only just come out last week. So they've got Man of Medan, Little Hope, and House of Ashes.
Okay, so I'm playing a game called Medium, which I was led to believe was part of the Until Dawn series, and it plays exactly the same.
Medium? No. That's made by an independent developer, and it's kind of like old school style kind of shooter, horror type game.
All right, it plays exactly like Until Dawn.
Are you talking about the right game here? Because I have played the Medium, and it doesn't play anything like Until Dawn in my opinion.
It's actually in my PlayStation at the moment, and it's off, so I can't really get it out. But it's one of the rental games from Boomerang, and it's a really new game. So I don't know if you've. It's not called The Medium; it's just called Medium.
Okay, well, how does it start? Because tell me about it, because I have played the Medium because it was on Xbox Live Game. It was on Game Pass first. You play as a girl.
Yeah, and you can have out of body experiences and stuff.
Yeah, no, that plays completely different in my opinion to Until Dawn, mate, because you actually there's less of that decision making, if that makes sense. In Until Dawn, there's all the decision making, and it's heavily on story, whereas the Medium is it's more exploratory.
I think the way it plays like it is the way the character moves, and
right.
You can't move the camera around, if you know what I mean. You just have to walk in a certain direction, and that's it.
Yeah.
When was that out then?
So it's been out on PlayStation less time than the Xbox. It's been on Xbox Game Pass for about a year.
Okay.
And then it got released on PlayStation only very recently.
So, you can have like a split screen, and you have like the modern day. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I stand corrected then. But yeah, that's a pretty good game. Until Dawn. The Man of Medan was good, and a bit more of an old school one. I think you've got on your list actually. Is Alan Wake.
Oh, of course. I mean, the Alan Wake remaster is out at the moment. I'm currently replaying Alan Wake.
Is that out already, is it?
Yeah, the Alan Wake remaster come out a few weeks ago, didn't it, Nicky? Nicky actually finished it.
That came out middle of September, I think. Or the first week of October. Yeah,
it's been out a while.
It. It's not a very long game. You could do it in like 8 to 10 hours, including like the DLC and that. I think.
But it is a good horror type game, though, isn't it? Because it's very story driven, but it has quite a few jump scares at times. Like
It's got
where the enemies just jump out at you. No, fuck, you know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah, it's got good atmosphere, good setting for a game, and yeah, it just draws you into it. You can turn the lights off and get sort of sucked into that world.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's really well done.
Yeah, so that's probably a few of my scariest games. I'm probably forgetting some. I've had some good times with Resident Evil.
Yeah, I mean, you can't mention horror games without the Resident Evil series. I still think the older ones are the best, though. I mean, the original, the first time you see that zombie in that little cutscene in the mansion, and then you got a lot of firsts. When the dogs first jump through the window at you in that hallway, it makes you jump, and then later on in the original game where the big tarantula spiders appear, and you're like, oh my god, you know what I mean? It's just a series of firsts in that game. Absolutely really well done. And then they changed it up obviously with Resident Evil 7 where it was all first person in that house. That was really freaky and really well done. And I know a lot of people didn't like the changes with that because a lot of people don't consider it a proper Resident Evil game because it's first person, but I think it's amazing. It's so well done.
Yeah, and that brings us on to how good VR is going to be in the future, in horror games and stuff. So
fuck that. I mean, I know Darren played through some of Resident Evil 7 on the PlayStation VR, and I couldn't imagine doing that because that game really freaked me out just playing it on my monitor. So, and it's mad because I think back to the 90s and the early 2000s. I used to love horror films. I used to really get into horror games, but I think the older I've gotten, the more of a wimp I've become. Like, I really struggle with some horror stuff now, especially games. There's one game that I started last week. I mentioned it on a podcast called Visage, and that's set like first person in this creepy haunted house, and it's very psychological. You got a lot of, kind of minor things happening, like light bulbs just breaking in front of you and freaky noises and stuff. Because it's all psychological, it really freaks me out. And I couldn't play. I literally could play it for about half an hour, and I had to turn it off because it was just really.
Yeah, I've seen a few people stream that, and one of the blokes I watched is with the old lady turned up, and oh my god, he absolutely shit himself on stream. He was terrified because, like you said, that's like they're a lot more clever now games than they were then. That's like you say, that's psychological. You keep thinking, all right, there's going to be someone there, and then there's not, and you're like, well, why isn't there someone there? And then you think, well, it'll be around the next corner. I know video games, I know horror games. You get there and they're not there.
Yeah,
and it's like they know what they're doing and they're playing with you.
Yeah,
I think that's how, compared to years ago, like games now, they're a lot more clever with things like that.
100% agree. Yeah, I mean, because I really wanted to play this game, Visage, before this episode, but I just couldn't bring myself to play it anymore because it was just really freaking, especially like when you're wearing headphones as well, just the sounds as well. It's just, again, with that atmosphere, and because it's very slow paced, you're walking through the house, and if you're in the dark for too long, your character slowly goes insane, and you got like the flickering lights. It's like a proper haunted house, really. And you're like, I just couldn't take it. It's just too much.
Yeah.
You say that with sound and stuff like that. I mean, like last year, people say, oh, it's a scary game, but I played Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah.
Which, was a little kid's game, but when you've got headphones on, and, and then all of a sudden, like, there's a jump scare, and that just blasts like a scream in your ears, that does make you jump, doesn't it? Even though it's a cartoony little game like that.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, because the thing is, like, because I do 99.9% of my gaming at my PC desk, and I'm always wearing my headphones for the optimum experience, and I have them quite loud. It just adds to that atmosphere because it really sucks you into the game a lot more. And I have to say, one of the most scary games that I have ever played is a game called Phasmophobia. Have you guys played this?
I haven't played it, but I know what it is. I've seen people do it.
So, this game can actually be played in VR as well, and I know a few people that have played it in VR and actually absolutely shit themselves. I've played this just obviously without the VR. It's up to 4-player co-op, and it's basically your ghost hunters, and you go and hunt ghosts. A bit like that TV show, that Ghost Hunter TV show. That was a load of crap. But, so you're using like all proper equipment, and you can pick it all up and all that sort of stuff. And there's all different locations. So the first location is just your bog standard house. And it's quite a modern type house, so it kind of eases you in because later on other levels open up, like a haunted mental hospital, a haunted school, like an old type spooky house, etc. And you go and all 4 of you go into this house. Like I'm just talking about the first one. So you start off in a van, and you can set up like cameras, because in the van outside you've got the CCTV cameras. So you can set up cameras in the house, and set up like heat sensor, to see like the temperature drop, and you can put like a book down with a pencil, and the ghosts might write in the pencils, and it's all different types of spirits, like your normal ghosts, your poltergeist, all that sort of stuff in there, and you've got to investigate like what type of spirit, ghost, poltergeist it is, right? And I've played this game a few times with people online. I haven't played it for a while, but you do not want to get left on your own, especially in the dark, because like freaky things happen, like sounds happen, or you can actually like just get spooked to death. Like you'll see something really freaky, and then you'll just like be game over for your character, because it'll just fuck your mind up. But it's like I've had a few experiences, like we were all like walking around the outside of the house. You can have camera, and you can take pictures of the ghosts and stuff as well. And like we were standing outside this window, and we could hear things happening, and I was like, I'm going to take a picture, because like sometimes real life people say that you can only capture ghosts in photos, even though you don't see them in real life. So I took a picture, and then I looked at the picture on the camera, it was digital, and there was this really freaky fucking like demon on the picture. I was like, oh my god, this is really freaky. We've done the investigations on there as well, where they've written in the book that we've left in the haunted room, and it's like, get out now, or so, something fucked up like that. And it's just that atmosphere of playing that game, and you just don't know what type of ghost is in there or what's going to happen. It's really scary, because it's just you can't run or anything either. It's just all that very kind of slow paced. You're doing investigations, and you don't know what's going to happen.
Webby, did you play that fairly early? Because I don't know if either you forgot or remember, because you actually can use your microphone in the game to like talk to the ghosts and stuff like that. And like, so what's like, are you there? Is someone there? And that, the game can't hear everything you say, but certain catchphrases and things you can say can affect you. And I just thought that is really clever, because at the moment when we're playing video games, interacting with them, it's just through, watching the TV, listening to the sound and pressing buttons. Actually to be able to talk into a microphone and the game understanding. I'm surprised none of the big boys, the bigger games, because this is kind of an indie game. I think I'm surprised none of the bigger people haven't done something like that.
Yeah, I know, and there's something that I was going to mention. So I was in a game with a few random people, and we were all chatting, in the game chat, and they were like, whatever you do not swear, because if you're in a room and you start swearing, you'll really piss off the ghost, and we'll start doing stuff. I was like, oh, okay. But then there was one time I was playing, and we were struggling to find the ghost in the house, and the one dude was like, right, I'm going to stand in this room in the dark and start just saying fuck over and over again. just to see if anything happens. I was like, oh my fucking god. So this dude, he started going, fuck you, you know, and then the lights started all flickering in the room and the temperature dropped. I was like, oh my fucking god. I was like, oh my goodness. You know, it's really freaky. It really is. Yeah.
Just imagine you playing that in VR.
Oh, couldn't do it.
Like Leon just coming up, Mark just tapping you on the shoulder, and you just absolutely lose it.
Lay her out, Roy.
I wouldn't be able to do it, man. It'd be too freaky. But you know, it's a really cool game, and it is a really good game to try out in co-op, because you're all talking to each other and you're all freaking each other out sometimes as well. But you know, it's just quite interesting from the perspective of the investigations, because you can set up the cameras in different locations, and you get back to your, you know, into your van outside, and you're just watching the cameras and flicking through them, and you can see like orbs floating past or things moving across the screen and stuff like that if you've got it in the right place. So it's just quite cool, and it's down to you to figure out what type of spirit is in the house. So you have like a little book, and you get to choose. You choose the evidence, and then you choose the type of ghost that it is, and then if you get everything right, you get awarded more points for unlocking certain stuff later on in the game, like levels and stuff. But yeah, it's definitely one of the best horror type games I've played, especially because it's with people. Because as I say, most of these games, most horror games, you're playing solo, so you feel very isolated. But you know, it's just very unique to be playing something that's freaky, but playing it in co-op.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's PC only, which is a shame, because I think it would work well on console as well.
How old is that game, was it?
When did it come out? I don't know when it actually came out, to be honest. I can check. I mean, I've had it about a
5
year.
years old, maybe?
No, is it?
So, I'm pretty sure.
2020 it came out. 18th of September 2020. Yeah.
Was it in, I think it might have been in early access.
It's still in early access at the moment.
Oh.
Yeah, it's $10.99.
And what's that called?
Phasmophobia.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds like a good game. It'd be good if it came out on consoles.
Yeah, I mean, I've got one of my mates on my Steam friends list, Red Tone, who I game with. He's played it for 265 hours.
Wow.
He loves it, and I've played it for 3 hours.
So is it a realistic type game?
Yes, yeah, it is quite. Yeah, it is realistic. Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's
That sounds
really
good.
well done. Really, really well done. So I recommend, if you've got PC, check this game out. It is really well done. And if you know, especially if you've got people to play it with as well, it just makes it a more fun and crazy experience, you know? Because you're all chatting to each other, trying to figure it out, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean by that, because it gives you the fun factor of what horror is supposed to be about.
Yeah.
You know, if you're all in a house, you know, in real life, and you're like trying to find a ghost, you know, it'd be fun, wouldn't it? So I get that.
Yeah, so, it is a really good one, to be fair. It's probably the best horror game to play, in my opinion.
It's the most unique one.
Yeah, 100%. If you want to listen to the rest of this week's Halloween spooky episode, you need to subscribe to the Patreon. Just go to the website, patreon.com/360gamercast. From as little as £5 a month, you get an episode every single week of the year, as well as every single special episode, including this spooky one. So do it now. Woohoo!